Welcome back. Who had a great morning? Say yeah. Okay, good. We always do something which is another ritual in all of our entrepreneurs forums, and it came from some coaching actually. I think it came from Rebecca Ramsey. Where's Rebecca? There she is down there. Rebecca gave me some coaching, I don't know, it was 6, 7, 8, it was a long time ago. And she said, Bruce, you got all these amazing clients doing all these great things. Why don't we hear from them? And I thought, what a great bit of feedback. So the next time we had to do it, we said we're going to do a Q&A panel where we get clients and then bring them up, tell their story, etc. And then you guys get a chance to jump on the microphone and ask some direct questions to some people that are doing some amazing things. So with that, I'm going to get up our Q&A panel. People, please, let's give them a round of applause. Keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. Alrighty. So when we get to you guys, we'll just do a quick intro to when I throw a question your way of who you are and what's the business and where it's located. So I might start down on the far there with Amy. So thank you, you're welcome. So Amy, I'm just interested, just give us 30 seconds on what you do and your business and where it's based, please.
My name's Amy. I am the CEO of Midwest Fabrication. We are a manufacturing company based in Dalby. We make the world's largest draper platforms or harvesting fronts.
Okay, on the front of the wheat headers and what have you. Is that? Yep. Okay, good. All right. So, quick question. So, we've been working near on 2 years, and I'm just interested just on some of the results that your business has had from a increase in net profit. Just give everyone a little bit of a snapshot on what that's increased, because you guys have had some phenomenal results.
We have, Bruce. So this year, I think net profit rise, we've added as the team 4 million to the net profit.
It's amazing. Give her a hand on that. Now, I'm interested on pinpointing just a couple of the big strategies that you've done. I mean, obviously you've got a very innovative technology, the only one that can make this wider front on the planet. So I'm sure there's a lot of engineering genius that you've done with your father, Martin, in the room, and also owner. But I'm just interested on some of the strategies you've taken from coaching in this first couple of years that have really, really worked. And also, guys, before Amy answers that, you've got to have your pens and paper out for this. You've got to be taking a bunch of notes. You're going to get some gold dust from these guys, so just don't sit there.
I found this really hard. Bruce asked us what our 2 biggest learnings were, and in 15 months, there is so many, it's not funny. I end up going with clarity of the destination. When we came to Bruce, we probably didn't have our goal set. We had very little clarity. There was a lot of drama and just issues in the business. And so once we got clarity of why we were there, what we were doing, what we want to achieve from it, we put 10-year strategy in play. And then once that was set in stone for all of us, we could make educated choices about the growth of our business. So clarity of the destination was massive for us, I think. And also critical think time. I think as far as value, we've got the most from that. So making time in your work week, in your days to be working on your business and asking yourself better questions, Bruce. That's massive for me. Expanding my RAS. I've had some big things around that, which has been great. And then surrounding yourself with those people that will expect or demand more of you has been probably really big for me and my father. We've, who said they can't teach an old dog new tricks. We've really come a long way.
Yeah, awesome. Well said. And so in terms of where your business is going, like from a what that has allowed you to expand your horizon on what's possible. Give us kind of like what the 5-year vision or 5-year common goal there. Where are you guys at with that, even if it's ballpark?
So we set the 10-year strategy. We're probably running about year 5, only at year 3. We've been going really well with that. By year 10, we want it to be about a $60 million turnover.
Okay, awesome. Give her a hand on that. Big vision. All right, thanks, Amy. I'm going to go down to Dylan down here. Dylan just told me a story that I'd never heard. So, Dylan, before you go there, give us a little bit on your business and what you do, and yeah.
Cool. So I'm Dylan Fay from the Dyford Group. We've got a plumbing business, an electrical business, and a mining construction business, mainly run throughout Queensland.
Awesome, mate. And you just told me a story that you'd not told me in 2 years of coaching. So I am going to get you to tell that because that surprised me, my friend.
Yeah, so a long time ago, Bruce and I used to play football together. Bruce was sort of at the end of his time, and I was about... I was 21, and so it was a pre-season game, and we were at the pub after it, and I hadn't introduced myself to Bruce yet, and I went over and said, "Hi, mate, I'm Dylan," and we had a little bit of small chat, and I said, "What do you do, Bruce?" And he just looked me square in the eye and said, "I change lives." And I was 21, a few schooners under the belt, and I was, "Righto, mate." Well, I'm a plumber, and I'll talk to you later. And so I've been coaching now for 2 years, and you know that's 15 years ago, whatever it was. And I just think you look around the room, and you really are changing some lives. So I think that's pretty cool.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Dylan, when I first met you, man, there was a big hole that had been dug versus now where we're sort of into the, 7-figure net profit bracket. So just kind of give, that's not a long time frame. So just gives everyone a little bit of pre-coaching versus where you are today.
Yeah, so I was in business over 10 years before we got to, before I started coaching. And I suppose I got to my maximum sort of peak and was chasing turnover, and we had this pretty big business going with 100 people, but we're losing money. So I'd got to my maximum on what I knew and knew I needed some help. So came and met with Bruce, and yeah, like what is it? 2 years later, and we will be over a 7-figure net this year. So it's been a pretty cool journey.
Awesome. Yeah, give him a hand on that. Yeah, and I think it's a great quote. I got this quote off Keith Cunningham. I'll get everyone to write it down because you were doing a bit of this. We're not here to get big. We're here to get rich. And I think too many entrepreneurs chase the top line for whatever reason, ego, significance, what I got to tell myself or tell someone at a barbecue, versus actually, having a profitable enterprise, especially when it, in most part works without you. So, what's just in terms of your time since we've been working? How's that improved in terms of the need to be in it 24/7 versus now? Because you have made some developments in that.
Yeah, so operationally, I don't know anything, and I think my team loves it. I don't know anything operationally because I really just create big problems when I do that. So I stay out of it operationally. I'm probably contact time maybe 3 days a week in the office, and can go sort of a week to 10 days like without even being in there or touching base. So yeah, that's been really cool.
And what's the benefit on the family side for having that extra space and time?
Oh, it just gives heaps of flexibility. Like, I can be with the family, be at home, or I can go to the farm, or I can do, we can go and do other stuff and or some, more holidays and that. And I've got the confidence that the team's there and the system's there and everything's going to keep running.
Yep.
Doesn't explode.
Yep. And also you've done a stellar job in terms of growing your senior leadership. So maybe just give us a couple of the strategies that have worked for you there in terms of taking this information that you've got and putting it back into the business.
Yeah, so all my, the 3 days of week that probably I am on contact is spent totally sort of on the business or on the team. So I've got about 5 guys here today, I think, 5 team members. So, investing in those guys and making sure they're really clear on where they need to go in the workspace, but also in their life, I think, has been probably the biggest turnaround for us as a group.
Yep. So team investment, huge point. Love that. Give him a hand. Thanks, Dylan. So Danielle, I'm going to go to you if that's okay. So you've had the task, the honour, the pleasure of actually doing 2 coaching programs over a long time. Danielle's just been inducted into the Chairman's Club for 10 years of coaching. So although it's about 5 in actually timeline, you did 2 sets of coaching in 2 completely separate businesses. So firstly, well done on getting into the Chairman's Club. Give her a hand on that one. So I'm cool whether you want to focus on either business there, but give us a bit of overview on firstly those 2 businesses and your last 5 years of coaching, please.
Thanks, Bruiser. There's 3 businesses now.
Yep, sorry, my bad.
So with 2 of them are one-on-one, and one of them I started EUP and then moved into a board. I actually really enjoy personal growth and geeking out a little bit on learning anything. So for me, I thought that I was killing it getting to do 2 of them. And sometimes that's good, and sometimes you're getting your ass kicked twice as much. So it's hard to say. And now 3 times as much. So we've started a 3rd company now, and the benefit that we get from coaching was enough for me to want that business to have its own coaching as well, so that it could get treated independently and have the time and the space to move it the same way we're moving the others. I think I wrote notes because you did ask me prior to here, and 2 of the biggest distinctions for me personally was learning to be a learner and not a knower. I tend to like to know things, and the more I come from that space, the less I'm open to learnings and coaching along the way. I think it took me a while to challenge, and I probably still do on any given day, that my perceived worth is attached to my intelligence or my ability to answer a question. So that's been an interesting one for me to challenge, because I have a wonderful team and coaches, and there's lots of people around to offer a lot, and I think the things that we don't see sometimes is the stuff that we really need to be focusing on. And the second one was my flippant constraints. I think growth in a business or a person sometimes is not linear. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, sometimes it's fast or slow, and I think that it can feel good some days and it can really hurt some days as well. When we first had the meeting that I had with Scott and you, we came to a night that you did. I came with Nick, and when I met you, I thought, yeah, this guy, he's switched on enough, he's got a strong enough character to be able to challenge Scott and coach Scott, because he's quite a strong, intelligent personality. And I foolishly was unaware of the fact that you were all of those things for me at the same time, because I also tend to have a strong personality. So they're the 2 biggest distinctions.
Okay, love that. Thank you. Let's give Danielle a hand and go on to Jamie, if I could. So Jamie, what a ride. I just want to tell the story, if I could, and then I'm going to throw it to you. We did one of our, was it about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. We did a seminar up in Mackay. I flew up to Mackay and we did this seminar, and there was about, a few people that just didn't show up at the seminar for whatever reason. And I said to the team, get on the phone to those people, and I says, I'm coming back in 2 weeks to do a bunch of diagnostics. Make sure you ring them all. And one of the phone calls was to Jamie and his wife Heidi McAuliffe up cabinet making business, and the answer was, hell yeah. I'm sorry, something went wrong in the business. Bloody apprentices, I think you might have blamed back then. And but if you're coming back, I would like a session. And it was, I'm pleased we made that phone call, mate. But look, give everyone a little overview of your world, because it's chalk and cheese.
Yeah, thanks, Bruiser. Well, yeah, it was 3 years ago, exactly, nearly. But 3.5 years ago, I was literally with a broken neck and a broken back on a hospital bed. So to be sitting up here is next level. So we started with the one cabinet shop with Bruiser, and I was doing it all myself with a broken neck and broken back. And then sort of listened to Bruiser to an extent, but too pig-headed to take it on board. So it took me a good 2 years to actually start listening to Bruiser. So keep in there, keep going with it, because it eventually clicks. So we've gone from that one cabinet shop earning our sales are about 100 grand a month, to now turning over $1 million a month. So in saying that, we got 5 outlets now. We got Keys & Co, Top Notch, Sink Cabinets, the Bay Bench Tops, and now Elegant Stone at the coast here. So things are going to get quite hectic, but I've built a pretty good team around me, Bruiser and myself and Scott Goffish, CFO. We've built a pretty damn good team around us to actually handle that. There's 5 managers. And I've just got to let the managers do their thing. That was the hardest thing on my level.
So the year before coaching, to put a couple of numbers on it, you did 120 grand loss the year before coaching, and this year you'll do 1.8 million of net. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yep. And he's bought 5 businesses. So, mate, in terms of the confidence to go from a loss-making business to going and buying 5 businesses in the space of about 18 months to 2 years. It's not the full 3 years, because it's really only 18 months to 2 years. What was your strategy of how to do that? How did that all happen? How did those businesses arrive at your front door, and what did you turn on the attraction meter to be able to attract them in?
Thanks, Bruiser. Well, what happened, I actually got a phone call from one of my previous bosses, and he asked me if I'd like to buy his business. And I'm like, hell yeah. And then, 3 months after buying that business, he had a second one to buy, and I bought that too, and I could run both of them. So I thought, well, I'm not going to stop here. This shit's easy. So then, yeah, we jumped into another one, and then I spoke to Bruiser, and I said, Bruiser, can I do it again? And he's like, well, what do you fucking think? Of course you can do it. So yeah, we've jumped in and bought some more, but it comes with a lot of stress. But to have Bruiser on my team and Scott Goffish, where's Scotty? Out there somewhere. He is next level CFO. He will do all your budgets, pipelines, and all that kind of stuff, and make sure you're hitting your targets every month. And without that, I wouldn't have what I got now.
So it's a great story. Yeah, give him another hand. So it's a great story, and I'm going to go on to Kate here. So Kate, thank you for... So Kate and I have been working together in a coaching environment. We started 16 years ago. I think I looked at the diary, so it's a long time to hang out, mate. But in terms of you guys, give everyone just an overview of what you and Paul do, please.
Yeah.
So thank you. So my name's Kate. Paul and I run our commercial cleaning business, so Commercial Clean Australia, based in southeast Queensland. So we stretch from Gold Coast through Brizzy up to Sunshine Coast.
So a lot's changed since I first met you guys down there at Little Mountain. I still remember the sign up. Bella had mumps, I think, if memory serves me correct, all those years ago. So, how was life back then when you first started, in terms of Paul and yourself on the tools doing cleaning? You were in the gym's cleaning group back then. Give everyone what that was to where you are now with how many cleaners you've got and offices, etc.
When we first met, we were doing gym's carpet cleaning. And we had 2 young girls. Third child wasn't even thought of. And it was bloody hard. It was a struggle. Financially, it was a struggle. Mentally, emotionally, life was it was hard. We were kind of running our own business blind. We didn't know what we were doing. With our coaching journey, so we've gone through gym's cleaning, we've sort of done a couple other little things on the side in between that, a little joint venture with yourself, Reza, back in the day. To starting up Commercial Clean Australia about 10 years ago. Commercial Clean Australia just started out with just Paul and I. We actually did our first cleaning job together down in Brizzy. And now, 10 years later, we've got, I don't know the exact numbers, around 100 contractors, cleaners, and I think we've got 16 employees in the office. We've got 3 offices. Our head office is here on the Sunshine Coast, and we've got a Brisbane office and a Gold Coast office.
Okay, love that. Thank you. And in terms of where you are, and this is probably speaking to all of the spouse life partners out there who have been able to leverage out, or because you weren't, but you've done a great job. So you're effectively out of the business now. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. Out of the day-to-day, I just do a little bit of processing payroll. It takes me not much time at all. So yes, effectively I'm out of the day-to-day business. Yep.
Sure. And just for yourself, I'm just interested, in you sharing a couple of the learnings on, for the people that do want to get out of the day-to-day operations, what would be a couple of your strategies or advice to give those people?
A big one personally is letting go of the control. So a bit of a control freak. I like to organise everything. I'm a high C. I like to know where everything is and have it all under control. So actually letting go of that. Probably before that, systemising everything. Like I said, I'm a high C, so everything I did was written down, checklists on what to do, and then a procedure on how to do it. So everything, we've put that throughout the whole business. So if we're ever falling short and need to recruit someone can walk in and know exactly what to do and how to do it.
Yep. So highly systemisation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we're highly systemised. Yep. And then just finding the right people and making sure you keep the right people and trusting in the right people to do that. We've got 2 team members in the room today who have leveraged Paul and I out of the day-to-day business, and yeah.
And you're also investing in them. Maybe just spend a bit on, particularly with Danny, sort of your ops manager there. Give us kind of his career path that you and Paul have done a great job on setting him through. Yeah,
so Danny started with us as an area manager in knee deep doing the grunt work. He's now our operations manager, and we put him through Money and You. Also Anastasia, who leveraged me out of the business, we've put her through Money and You as well. And Danny's just finished EUP.
Yep, about to tackle the second year, which is awesome. And I think he got Team Member of the Year at his graduation class, so well done, Danny, wherever you are in the room. Good job, mate. So look, it's a phenomenal story. So I just want to go back to, give Kate a hand, everyone. Amy, I'm just going to go back up to you if that's okay. So Amy, one of the big things from pretty much the get-go that I've been working with you guys and Pete when you're in the EEP days was, succession planning. It's any time we've got generational businesses, it's never an easy thing or an easy task. So probably for a lot of the people out there that, considering generational business succession, what would be some of the advice that you could offer the room just from a succession point of view if you had to give a tip?
Be open to the process, I would say. Everyone in the successional journey has their own ideas of what it should play out. And obviously, depending on how big the families and that sort of stuff are, or how that's going to play, it can be very difficult. Make sure it's facilitated. If you're going down this line, you absolutely want someone that knows what they're doing and can support you in that process. And I would say be open to it and be ready for it. It's very difficult to do if you're not ready for it.
Okay, I agree, and have it clear from the get-go. Yeah? Okay, good. Awesome. Thanks, Amy. Give her a hand, everyone. I'm going to stay on a similar track, Danny, if I could, please, with you. So, you guys have got a lot of family in a business, right, as a lot of other people in the room do. So, in terms of having a well-oiled machine and no arguments or fights, what would be some tips you do for people that end up working in the same business that rhyme with family? I didn't tell you I was going to ask.
I can literally see Scott's face right now. I think having a common goal really can help you be on the same page. Knowing, and I don't know about other people's family, but I genuinely do love mine and am close to them. And I think when you have that level in a relationship, you can sometimes talk to yourself about how to take somebody's words or actions on a certain day, what they might have sounded like or felt. So sometimes reminding yourself of that, understanding that sometimes we're a little bit harder on each other than we possibly are with others. We hold each other to a higher standard, which sucks and is also grounding some days. And, going back to that common goal, being able to sit down some days and be clear on what you want and be clear on how you should get there. But, like you had mentioned, having respect for each other, like identifying that sometimes the way I want to go there isn't going to be the same way that Scott wants to go there. Or we've got our dad in the business as well now, and getting Bruiser to coach some of those people is really good. My dad's left for the day, so we got Bruiser to flip him before he came and started with us, which was really awesome. And, one of the main reasons that we started the coaching journey, well, sorry, that's not true. I'm speaking for myself. Is that I wanted an adjudicator. So we needed a third independent party for things that we didn't agree on. Sometimes we're both emotionally attached to an outcome, and so having somebody who's more objective.
And looking in on that, and maybe everyone take a note of this, I think that the adjudicator gets less as people getting coached get better. Please write that down. As people's mastery get better, there's less of a need to have a referee. Okay, not to say that sometimes we don't need to roll in with a whistle, but in the most part, you guys are way better, and I could say this on a lot of other people up here too, because there's more alignment, and because you got better skills, so which we were talking about this morning. So, love that. Thanks, Danny. Very good. Give her a hand, everyone. And I'll stay on that line with Jamie, if I could, please. So, Jamie, you and Heidi, your wife, are completely sort of different personality types. You've got a big yin and yang there. Someone that's more risk adverse, etc., and you need that. And also, she needs you because you're a hey, I'm going to go and climb Everest tomorrow type of. So what would be some tips that you could give to the room around how you've been able to bring a yin and a yang together so that you can buy 5 businesses in 2 years?
I guess I've got to come up with a really good plan before I submit it to my wife. Like, Bruce actually said that to me, Jamie, you got to write that shit out. Present it, otherwise you got no hope. And it's true. Like, I had to get everything in order. I had to go to Scott and get all the financials and map that shit out so she couldn't say no. It was like, oh. And she actually says, well, fuck me. I can't say no. So now she's actually coming on board and getting out of her shell. And she wanted the last stone shop. That was her deal. So we're going into dangerous territory where we're both going to start doing it. So
yeah. So, and again, alignment with, the life partner spouse for me is very key. And I think also, you've got 4 kids, and they're young, and there could have been way amount of excuses in the last 3 years to not include one of you guys because of, we got to go home. But I'll credit you, just actually like a lot of the people here on the stage, I've been able to include the better half in the journey so that you're both in the same alignment. Would you agree with that?
yeah, 100%. Heidi's much the sit back, hide in the corner kind of person, and sort of Bruiser puts her on the spot and pulls her out of her little corner, and so do I. I feel this is probably the best thing that's ever happened to her, to get her around all these kind of different people. It's brought her back out of her shell and made her a better person out of it, and I'm very happy for it.
Awesome. Give him a hand, everyone. Well done, Jamie. Dylan, I'll come to you, mate, if I could. So just from a leadership point of view with you, so I know you said you've invested in your team a lot, but I'm just interested in maybe a couple of the distinctions that you've seen in yourself leading, a reasonably big amount of people. What would be 1 or 2 big distinctions that you've seen yourself when you looked in the mirror with some of these flip charts staring at you?
I think just like a general understanding with your disc profiles or some other stuff, flippins and things like that, some understanding of what your constraints are, and also your team, like what they're good at, and how to communicate with those people on an effective basis has been a big change for us. And that people crave feedback, like what Pete did before. Prior to this, we didn't give feedback on a regular enough basis, whereas now with our core team it's on a monthly basis. So that's been a big change, I suppose, in my leadership style.
Love that. And I know one principle that it took a fair bit to explain it, and we won't try to do it as a teach here, but that whole ripple effect on what we do as an organisation and what the ripple effect means for our team and our community, our clients, etc. I know you've taken that principle of procession back and really homed in it so that we're not only doing plumbing and electrical services, but this thing's like the whole lot more. So maybe just give everyone how you've done that and what the results been from that.
Yeah, so law of possession and the way that we talk about it is that we're enhancing people's lives. So
as a plumber,
and an electrician and whatever. So we sort of broke it down into our staff, our clients, the end user, and the community. And so if we do a fantastic job on site, how does that affect all those different groups of people? And, for our clients, they're getting a top-class product that they're proud of. They know there's no issues. There's less stress in their life. So ultimately, we're enhancing their lives. And we have no idea what the ripple effect of that is. For our staff, if we do an awesome job, we can invest more in them because the company's going well, so we can invest in training, we can help them with their personal wealth and their personal development. So that flows on endlessly, I suppose, through their family. The community, if we're doing an awesome job, we can invest in charity and we can bring more apprentices on, we can train more people, so ultimately that's just helping the community, having more skilled people out there. So I suppose that's how we've taken that law of procession into the workplace.
And on that law of procession, I know you've all done this in your own ways, and I just think maybe take a note of that is that, you know, what we do there as entrepreneurs and growing companies is that there's just so much added value to the planet because we're investing in all of that. Everyone wins when we do that. Who would agree with that, by the way? Say yeah. Okay, good. So I'm going to ask everyone to do kind of your parting shot now, sort of key tip for the room. Maybe let's restrict it to one or two with your respective journeys, anywhere up to 16 years down to a couple of years. So grab a pen. So we'll start with Dylan. What do you got, man?
There's no silver bullet. You know, like our business improved tenfold, you know, and there's not one thing. People go, what was it? There's not one thing. It's like, it's all the little 1%ers that add up to real change and real progress in your business. So, you know, all the principles, implementing them the best you can at that time, and then coming back to them, you know, as you progress through your stages of learning, something might not be relative when you first heard it, but as you get better and you're ready to hear it, you sort of bring it in then and it changes. So, yeah, that's mine. I think there's no silver bullet.
Thanks, Dylan. I might pass that to Kate. Give Dylan a hand on his learning there. Kate, I'm interested to hear yours. What's one or two big pieces of coaching that you could offer the room, please?
Yeah, thanks, Fraser. I'm going to go as Paul's driven our business and has done an amazing job, and I've been the support role along there. So my advice is coming from that role.
Yep.
And the thing I think that made our business and our success as it is today is our personal relationship. So we've worked really hard on maintaining our separate personal relationship to our business relationship. We have rules of the game around our relationship. We have a weekly lunch every Friday with certain rules around that. We have a whiffle. Whenever we say whiffle, or I say to Paul, I need to whiffle, he groans and rolls his eyes. But it's an agreement between us that we know that we can express ourselves in a safe place. So for me, it's just making sure that we're on the same page and that we kind of keep each other accountable a bit. We're a bit like, it sounds like, we're a bit like, I've sounded very much like Heidi and Paul's, you know, very much the high D. So for us, it's a balancing act, and I think the more aligned you are when you're working with your partner, you're going to get there quicker and have greater success and a happier relationship.
Awesome. Give her a hand. Well done, Kate. Good advice. Thank you. Jamie, one piece of advice or two for the room?
I guess make a decision and go do it. Don't bounce around it and think too much about it, because you'll end up talking yourself out of it. So obviously do the maths on it. Make sure it's a good business or growing your business, and just go bloody do it. And get the right team around you. Bruiser, CFO, marketing, get the whole team around you, because they will push you to the next level and make you a shitload of money. So
I love it. Give him a hand. Well done, Jamie. Love it. Danielle, one or two big pieces of advice for the room?
Probably two. I think a big one for me has been not comparing myself to other people in the room. I know we talk about not judging up and judging down, and we might practice that socially at the table, but internally, learning not to do that and just trusting that I am where I need to be and that my journey is different to other people's. It doesn't make it better or worse. And with that, the second one would probably be learning the value of vulnerability. It's something I pride myself on not being. And wow. She says as she cries. Up until up until a few years ago, that when we lost our daughter. And it was actually my sister-in-law that she probably doesn't know, but is the inspiration for me embracing that. And it applies to everything in the room, but it was that big moment that I actually had to ask for help and needed it. And since then, the universe just keeps serving me up all these little taps about how good vulnerability is. And sometimes that's not hugely dramatic things like that. Sometimes that might just be saying I don't have all the answers, or having an uncomfortable conversation when you don't want to. And it was Scott who got me onto, he told me a quote, and I think it's Timothy Ferriss, which was that your success, a person's success can be measured by the number of uncomfortable conversations they're prepared to have. So that's it.
Give her a hand. Righto. Amy, follow that.
Holding it together up here. Thanks, Danny. I would say commit to the process early. You're in this room for a reason, and you'll only get out what you put in. Be okay to change and grow. Be really okay with that. We don't know it all, and wow, now I know how much I don't know. It just blows my mind, to be honest. And then probably don't sit back and wait for help. If you need it, put your hand up. You've got a phenomenal amount of support in the room and in the, in the groups and UP groups and boards and everywhere. So if you need the help, ask for it. I probably haven't done that enough in one business, and I've probably done it fantastic in another. So that would probably be my advice.
Awesome. Give her a hand. Well done, Amy. Guys, a big thank you. It's been an honour to hear your stories and advice to the room. All the best for the next evolutions of all of your businesses. We've got a little thank you present down here when you go. You can go that away. But can we give our Q&A panel another hand, everyone? Well done.